So today we're mostly going to talk about tutorials. But before that, let me correct something that I've said yesterday. So yesterday I've said that you have nothing to memorize for English. No, actually not. I'm wrong there. Like, you could memorize text types for writing. Yeah, but then there are like less to memorize for English and LS than Chinese or math. Mostly like math have the most things to memorize. You have all the formulas, including formulas that you've learned from junior secondary school, so like Form 1 to Form 3. So tutorials, are they good or bad? I'll say like they can be good and can be bad, depends on how you use. Yeah, so it depends on how you use treat tutorials. So like tutorials, actually what they do is like the teachers would like have like all the marking schemes for the past DSE years and or maybe like A levels. Yeah, so the HHLE before the DSE, and yeah, so there are all those marking schemes, and they try to find out a trend that the Hong Kong EAA would use. Yep, so it's basically finding the trend and then transforming it into skills. Yeah, those so-called skills. So since like what the tutors got is based from marking scheme and marking scheme to find the trend. So like what you learn from those tutors should be like those tutors from like Bacon or King's, Ying Wang, yeah, or Yindor Modern. All those large tutorial companies should like be treated as a trend or like in general, and it should not be like you memorize all the skills the teachers have taught you and then you enter the examination center of 2020 and then oh yeah, you get 5 double star. No, it's not that. Definitely not that. You have to interpret them. Yeah, so and then actually skills may have worked better for some than others. Like, and this depends on like how do you like answer the exam questions before going to tutorial. Yeah, so yeah, so it's that how to answer exam questions. So like so regarding this, I have a suggestion here. So before attending any tutorial class, you should like figure out like how do you originally answer your like exam questions. Yeah, and you try to use it for a mock paper or a real DSE paper. It shouldn't matter much. Even though some tutors like seemingly having the skills only applicable to the DSE exam, like the real exam papers. But like with your original method, it shouldn't matter much. So yeah, and then you should try to figure out. Yeah, you should try to figure out what is working and what is not working. Yeah, so when you learn a tutorial skill, like you try to apply it and then yeah, you would try to figure out like what is working, what is not working again. Yeah, so that's basically the idea. So yeah, and I think this not only applies to DSE but also to IB, yeah. So that's basically the idea. Also, one more thing about tutorials is that like you see that like tutorials would cost you like around $700 per month. Like I only attend Beacon's tutorial classes, and theirs is like around $700 per month. So, well, it's really worth the money. So let me talk about my all my tutors. Well, like now it's only like May. I'm recording this on 26th of May. I mean 27th of May. Yeah, 27th of May. Anyway, so the DSE results have not been released. So, yeah, so there's no way of me figuring like, is this tutor skills worth it or not? Like before the summer, I can only tell you that what I think it works and what I think it does not. Yeah, so Chinese, Wai Lam, yeah. Yeah, like Wai Lam is the only Chinese tutor in Beacon, so yeah. Well, it kind of works. Yeah. Yes, I would say it's worth it for paper 3, but not necessarily for paper 1. Yeah. I haven't really applied its skills for paper 4, but I would say YLM is worth it for paper 2 and paper 3. And next is English. Billy, I would say its skills is kind of worth it for paper 3. Also kind of worth it for paper 1. Now for English paper 1, you need to know that, basically you need to know that you need to copy the original text for some of them, but you should not copy for some of the questions. Yeah, and this is basically the part for paper 1. Yeah, well, I can talk about more deeply into Billy if you want, but yeah, I'll say this good for now. Yeah, and paper 2, I'll say do not follow. Do not follow Billy's paper 2 advice at all. Yes, like especially if you are like, even without tutorial you can get like level 4. Do not follow his advice for paper 2 at all. Except now, this one point I would like to that's actually good and this actually from the tutors. So for every subject you should like have a book like writing down what works well for you when answering the questions. So, or basically a skills book which have your ways that works well for you when you answer the exam questions. Yeah. I would say for every subject, including Chinese, English, math, and your electives. Yeah. Just not LS. Well, yeah, LS is optional, but I strongly recommend you have a book writing down like what works well for you up to now, and update it in your journey of Form 6. So that's all for today. Thank you. Yeah, so next I'll probably talk about IB, since I focus in DSE more in these two videos. So thank you. See you.